Who has had the greatest influence on your life? For many of us, a special teacher probably comes to mind. Throughout my career as a student, many teachers have come and gone and have been loved and hated, but none have had a greater impact on me than Mike Lincoln, my high school weights and conditioning coach. Certainly, all of us have had teachers who evoke strong emotions in us, both positive and negative. Today, I would like to pay tribute to this very special man. A weight and conditioning coach, football coach, and active role model for students at Seaman High School, Mr. Lincoln was the epitome of values, work ethic, and leadership as he proved in his teaching and career. He was one of the unique teachers who instills what he believes into his students. He lived by always being on time, never making excuses, and most importantly, always putting your heart and soul into what you're doing, standing by the actions you take. It was certain that a student would get an earful of Mr. Lincoln's opinion and punishment if they crossed any of these values. If a student was late to his class, they not only got the privilege of learning through Mr. Lincoln how unsatisfactory their excuse was, but they also got to play one of Mr. Lincoln's character-building games. His favorite was called Red Rover, which involved students doing rapid-fire, squats, or burpees in place at one side of the gym. The goal was to be the first person to drag their tired body to the other side of the gym. It sounds easy, but there's a small catch. You're only allowed to run when Mr. Lincoln blows his whistle and must immediately stop when the whistle shrills again, resuming doing rapid-fire squats or burpees. Mr. Lincoln carefully monitors everyone for cheating or laziness. If he suspects either, then the culprit must go all the way back to where they started on one side of the gym and resume the game until they get to the finish. To most teachers, this would be hard enough, but it wasn't like Mr. Lincoln to be like most teachers. He liked to add another aspect in which if the student flinches at all while doing their exercise of choice in place, they must also start completely over. He encouraged students to flinch by sneaking up behind them, quickly running past them while yelling "go." If the student flinches at all, then they must restart the game. Mr. Lincoln claims that this is to practice focus, but we all knew it was more for his sick enjoyment. He also liked new players to his game because he enjoyed tricking them. Upon blowing his whistle the second time signifying a stop, he would tell some individuals to move forward a step because of how hard they were working. Most new students took this as a compliment and would follow his orders by stepping forward, only to be sent back to the start for breaking the rule of only moving when he blows the whistle. Needless to say, most people only make this mistake once. These honorable values resonated through Mr. Lincoln and were absorbed by the students around him, making each student a better person. Mr. Lincoln also encouraged, sometimes very actively, a hard work ethic. It's one thing for someone to preach about working hard, but Mr. Lincoln actively practiced this. The words quit and can't were not in his vocabulary, and he expected those he taught to have the same mindset. He believed if you gave 110% effort, consistently practiced, and never quit, you can achieve anything in life. It was not uncommon to see Mr. Lincoln pushing people to what they thought were their breaking points or their limits, only to be shown that they had so much more to give and that if they keep pushing, they can achieve much more. His students that he taught all reflect this attitude and strive to become better in all aspects on a daily basis. Finally, none of Mr. Lincoln's traits and beliefs would be well known to his students if he were not a great leader. Particularly on the football field, Mr. Lincoln had a radiance to him that those around him fed off of. If he's excited, those around him become excited. If he's motivated, those around him become motivated. This is an important trait for teachers to possess because I believe that a teacher's job is to not only teach their students a particular subject, but to also be a role model that helps guide their students in a positive way. Mike Lincoln did this with every student that stepped through his door.
That was all right.